Hi guys, welcome to another DIY video on basically how to wire up pretty much any stereo for your car using these basically these just three items right here and then some tools over there. So the first three items that you're going to need is you're going to need a wiring harness for your car. Today I'm going to be doing a 2001 Mazda Protege. So first I went on Amazon. You can pretty much buy all these parts right off Amazon. This one fits directly to a Mazda Protege. It looks exactly like this part right here, and basically it just connects to what the stereo gives you. Then you're going to need a dash installation kit. As you can see, these are both from the same company as well, actually. And so here's the Mazda multi-kit. This is basically what's going to go in your car once you remove your old stereo. So yeah, that's that. Then here's the stereo itself. This is the one I've been using for a while. It's pretty cheap. It's around 30 bucks. It has pretty much all the features that I needed, which is actually just an aux cord because people don't like aux cords. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In the next step, I'll show you the tools that you'll need. Alright, for the tools for this project, basically it's pretty simple. You're just going to need a soldering iron, some solder, depending on what you want to use. You don't absolutely have to use this, but it's electrical tape. And then either you can use the electrical tape or you can use these shrink wrap tubes. I kind of did a little bit of a mix here, but yeah, those are pretty much the only tools you'll need for the setting up the wiring for the radio, or the stereo I should say, for your car. First things first, taking everything out of the box. So as you take everything out of the box, you're going to notice you see the stereo and everything like that. Pretty much the only parts you're going to need for setting up the electrical for a stereo is basically the manual that will come with the stereo. And on there, the harness, which is these two things that the stereo comes with, it'll tell you what each part is right here. It'll say like purple, green, white, gray for depending on what speakers it is, and then the power and stuff like that. And basically what you're going to want to try to do is each one will have a different color, and then obviously you're going to try to match it up to what it says on here, because this one is this wiring harness right here. And basically you're going to want to wire these up together like this. So they just see this, how this yellow one goes to the yellow one, the red one doesn't go to the red one. However, in some cases, that is actually not the circumstance, and there won't be matching colors, which is why you need to look on this to make sure, to make sure each wire is the same as it says on this wire, this wiring diagram right here. So once you get all that figured out and what color is which and which ones you need to put into which, you can just start connecting them. I'll show you that right in this upcoming step right here. The soldering and wrapping should look like this is the electrical tape, and then this is the shrink wrap. As you can see here, the electrical tape, it looks okay, but I prefer using the shrink wrap because it adds a little bit more durability and it can't become unwrapped. But basically what you're going to want to do is each one of these things, the wires coming from the harnesses will have a cap on them, just like that, and they just come right off. And then after that, you're going to want to find the opposite kind by matching it up on the diagrams here. And you just want to take this cap off, like so. Twist them up a little bit, as you can see here. And then I find just wrapping them like this, just kind of twisting them together, just wrapping one over the other. If I could do it right now. Here we are. Should end up with something that looks kind of like that, like a mixture of those two wires. There you are. And then basically after you're done with that, you can get on to the soldering part. But make sure you remember to put the shrink wrap on before you connect the wires together, because you can't really slide the shrink wrap over once they're connected. But on the next part, we can work on soldering these joints together. Once you get the two wrapped together with the shrink wrap on, you can just grab your solder and then your soldering iron. And then basically I find, sorry if it's a little hard to see, but basically you just put the solder right here. You put the soldering iron right here, and you just feed the solder into the iron. It's a little hard to melt right now, but you just feed it right into there. And there you are. As you can see, there's a little glob of solder right there connecting the wires. This part is just to make sure that the wires do not come undone or unwrapped, because previously they were just kind of like wrapped together. But yeah, that's pretty much that part. After that, you can just grab the shrink wrap and a lighter. Just slide this back over like so, and just heat it up, and you'll just start to see the shrink wrap shrink. Once you've done one wire, then you actually have to do the rest of them now, according to the diagrams. It's kind of just a little bit of a repetitive process, but once you get done, that is actually the wiring harness. With these parts, this plugs into the stereo. These parts plug into the stereo, and then this part plugs back into the car. So basically, behind where your old stereo was, you're going to plug that into like what was in the old stereo. And then from there, it will convert all of the old stereo wires into the new stereo wires right here. And then once you have done that, you actually have to find a way how to get this dash installation kit in. So yeah, the stereo, usually this is actually a single DIN. These wires right here are for a single DIN stereo. Basically what the DINs mean is that a single DIN is just one radio slot, and then a double DIN is like 2 radio slots, so it's 2 stereos. Usually most of the double DINs will have a touch screen of some sort on it, or some sort of screen on it, but this is only a single DIN, so it should fit the stereo that we got right here. So yeah, that should work. And then you just plug these wires into the stereo and put it back into this thing, screw it back in, and then you should be all set.